That's what most believers are trying to do. They'll go to a conference or they'll read a book and they'll get all zealous and kind of like twisting up a wind-up toy, you know? Just you go and you hear the wonderful music and all this thing and you just get so twisted up and wound up, and the problem is though it just runs down really quick. It spins out, and in a few days all the maybe even boasts you made about how much you love God seem to come to nothing. Just poof, like that. What you need is something else. And this is going to shock some of you young believers. You're going to sit there and go, oh my, that can't be true. What you need is theology. You say, well, I don't want any of that theology stuff. Well, just listen to what you're saying when you say that. Theology comes from the Greek word theos, which means God, and the Greek word logos, which is talking about a discourse or a word. When you say, I don't want any of that theology, Brother Paul, what you're saying is, I don't want to hear a word about God. I don't want to do a study about God. I don't want to listen to a discourse or read a discourse or dissertation on God. Well, if that's true about you, you've got a really big problem. Because if you know God as a Christian, then you're going to want to know more about Him. And that's what theology is about. You know, sometimes, young Christian, I hear people say this. You know, they'll tell new believers, you know, when you're reading the Bible, you know, after you read a passage, ask yourself, what is this saying about you? What is this saying about you and what you need to do and who you are? That's the first thing you need to think about. No, it's not. That's not the first thing you need to think about at all. Matter of fact, that's the last thing you need to think about. When you read the Bible, the first thing you need to ask yourself is, what is this saying about God? What is it revealing to me about who God is? That's what's important. Because honestly, if your heart has truly been regenerate, if the Spirit of God, through the Spirit of God, you've been born again, then the more you know about God, and especially God as He's revealed in the cross of Christ, the more you know about Him, the more you're going to love Him. And that's why we grow in knowledge. We grow in grace. You know, I have spent so many years of my life running around the world preaching. And I'm getting older, and people say, you know, but your zeal seems to just keep growing. How is that? Well, it's not because I have some special gift. It's because I study God. I want to know who this person is, because the more I see of Him, the more I want to be like Him, the more I want to trust Him, the more I want to glorify Him, speak of Him. You see, one of the greatest problems that can happen is when a people, when they are ignorant of God, in the absence of a true knowledge of God, you'll always fill in the gaps with something false. With something false. So my encouragement to you, if you want to grow in the love of God, what should you do? Study the Scriptures. And study the Scriptures, not to find these life principles to give you your best life now. Study the Scriptures in order to know this person who created you and redeemed you and loves you.